All right, first up, we're talking about a very important issue. Now, on the 26th of this month, 2 days ago, the World Health Organization's Technical Advisory Group met to discuss giving an emergency use listing to Covaxin, the COVID-19 vaccine made by Bharat Biotech, the Hyderabad-based company. Now, it's an inactivated virus vaccine. It has been touted as a made-in-India vaccine through and through because it's not been borrowed from anywhere, nor has the platform been borrowed from anywhere. And a lot of Indians have already taken that vaccine, including Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The WHO has not granted permissions for this to be used everywhere, or not given its nod to it, something that a lot of countries around the world wait for. It was expected on the 26th, but on the 27th, the WHO came and said that it wants even more details. Now, this is a process which has been going on since about April this year. The question is, what is taking so long? What does the WHO know, or what are they seeing that our experts haven't? To speak on this, I'm joined by Dr. N K Arora. He's the chair COVID subcommittee at the NTAGI. Dr. Arora, thank you so much for joining us on the India Development Debate this evening. I'm not going to repeat that question because that is truly what is at the foremost of the mind. I know it's a process. Bharat Biotech has said it, WHO has said it. They've said they won't cut corners, but the question mark remains. What are they so concerned about, considering lakhs and lakhs of people have already taken this vaccine?
So, as WHO has already issued a statement that they don't want to cut corners, and they want to look at from various dimensions. So I do not know much, but one thing which has, I think, brought in this extra scrutiny is that early this month, SAGE, the highest vaccine policy-making body of WHO and globally, recommended that other inactivated vaccines from China, Sinovac and Sinopharma, they are also inactivated vaccine, technically speaking like Covaxin, but they found that the initial immune response is not adequate, and they have recommended an additional dose so that it becomes a 3-dose vaccine. So it is from that perspective, I presume that this is being looked at because the volume of Covaxin used in India is phenomenal. We have used over 110 million doses. And it has been also approved in several other countries. Small amounts have been used in other countries also. So I'm given to understand that they have been asking about bridging studies in some other countries as well. But all in all, I think this is an issue which probably has stemmed from the other inactivated vaccine. And but within the country, I must tell you that India has a national vaccine tracker platform where we are looking at the vaccine effectiveness in real life situation for both Covishield and Covaxin. For practical purposes, these are the two vaccines. 90% is Covishield and 10-11% is Covaxin. And the data from there suggests that 1 dose of either of the vaccines gives over 95% protection against death, and 2 doses even higher, 2 to 3% higher. Covishield and Covaxin are very effective, at least in our setting. And this has to be seen, and this data is from...
Dr. Arora, just...
Yeah. Please go ahead.
No, so like you say, we have real world evidence because so many people have taken the Covaxin now for so many months, right? And as you say that we're tracking this within the country. But I want to come back to the we won't cut corners part of it. If the WHO's advisory groups or their technical committees or whoever is looking at this and assessing it says we don't cut corners, does that imply that we here in India are cutting corners? There has to be some basic standard for deciding whether a vaccine is safe or not. I mean, these are questions that come to the minds of people who've taken these vaccines. Why is the WHO so hesitant to say it's safe and it's okay to use when so many of us have already used it?
So when you use the word for India, it can be vice versa also, because whether due diligence was done, the two Chinese vaccines were given EUL in a very fast mode, and I'm sure all of us are aware of that. So, I do not know more than what I have just now said, but I wanted to say two or three things. One is the effectiveness component in real world, and India has presented several times the safety data of the vaccine in again real world scenario, both for adults, that means more than 18 years in general, and even in pregnant women, what is the safety profile, because a large number of pregnant women have also received the vaccine, and it stands to scrutiny there as well without any difficulty. So it's a safe vaccine, it is an effective vaccine, and as all of us are aware that on 3rd November they are meeting again, and let's hope that would be the final meeting as far as this vaccine is concerned.
Sure. Now, I want to come back to the China angle of this, because this has become a huge talking point. And recently, when I had the opportunity to speak with Dr. Ella, I asked him, do you think you are being subjected to more scrutiny than others? And he said, probably yes. Now, you're saying Sinopharm, Sinovac is the same platform, but was given a nod fairly early. Now they're thinking there's something not quite working as well with it, so they're making sure they don't repeat that mistake with Covaxin. Do you think there has been unfair treatment or unequal treatment in both cases?
No, it will be unfair on my side to comment any of those things, because WHO is a very credible technical platform and group, and people they draw people from all over. I am part of several of these committees. In fact, I'm member of the GACS, which is Global Advisory Committee for Vaccine Safety, and have been presenting and hearing vaccine safety data, not only our own but from the other parts of the other vaccines as well, whatever vaccines have been given. So I would not go on to extent to that extent and say, and I think many times the companies also need to organize the data in a way that it has to be understood. So sometimes there are minor errors as far as when the person who is submitting the dossier, but it may not be acceptable to the technical group. So there is a possibility, but as far as the basic vaccine effectiveness and safety is concerned, I think there are not many issues there at all. And as I said, whenever a vaccine is introduced in a country, like you remember, Covishield was introduced, but our regulator gave the go-ahead only after we had a bridging trial of around 3,000 individuals. So similar bridging trials have been held in other countries also for Covaxin. And I think some of that data was also asked for to be shared with the WHO Technical Advisory Group.
Okay. All right. So it's a process, and the process perhaps takes time, but meanwhile, a lot of questions being raised. Hopefully, by the 3rd of November, a lot of these questions will be laid
so. It
to
has
rest.
taken
Thank you
too
so
much time. All of us
Dr.
are
Arora,
worried
for
on
joining
that.
us on this very important story.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.